Hello, everyone. It's that time again for influential leadership tips. My name is Dave Miller.
And I'm John Hadley. And Dave, you had something you were talking about that I thought would be pretty interesting. What is it?
Yeah, today I want to do like a really quick tip. Maybe it's more of a concept to reflect on, and it has to do with a style of leadership that I call pride-based leadership. And let me just ask you a question, John. What do you think somebody wants to feel at the end of a hard work day?
Well, I'd like to feel like I accomplished something, that I did something that's meaningful, that I can feel proud of, so I feel like, I actually did something worthwhile that day.
Okay, so something you feel worthwhile doing, something that you accomplished.
Hmm.
Maybe you want to have significant impact in some way. All these things can probably be summed up in the word pride. That you want to have pride in what you've done. You want to be proud of what you've done,
Yes.
and that's what motivates people ultimately. So, as a leader, that's something that's really important: is to have people engaged in their work and be motivated by it. So, I want to just distinguish how we define pride in pride-based leadership program. Pride is defined as the fuel that drives the human enterprise. You can think of the enterprise as one's self-esteem and even beyond that. Now, what's the opposite of pride? The opposite of pride is shame. And shame is defined as the disease that destroys the human enterprise.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, I don't want to get home from work and feel like I'm embarrassed by what I did that day.
right, right. And so, as a leader, you can really shape someone's experience of their work. Do they feel that pride or do they feel that shame? Now, no organization is 100% pride based or 100% shame based. It's always somewhere in the spectrum. And
Mhm.
no leader is that either. But I want you to start thinking about your organization. Where is it on the spectrum of being a pride based organization or a shame based organization? Think about the culture, how people feel, um, and the leadership. What is the leadership like? And ultimately, you got to come down to yourself as a leader in terms of things you do. And we're going to dig into that more next week. But I wanted to introduce that. I wanted you to start thinking. This is your homework. Where's your organization on the spectrum, and where are you as a leader on the spectrum there?
This kind of relates to a lot of organizations where the first thing they have to do is figure out who's at fault, who's to blame for this problem. And I had a colleague who he was the head of IT, and what he liked to do was he'd come into the senior management meeting, and the first thing he'd say is, "Let's all agree it's my fault. Now let's move on."
That's good. That's a good technique. Well, like I said, we'll dig into some specifics next time, and maybe explore what your leader just did there, and why he did it. But it's a really rich area. I wanted to introduce it to people and have them start thinking about that and think about that in their leadership style.
Sounds great. Good tip. And thanks for listening. Be influential.
See you next week.